It's like Snowpiercer, but you just take the train and you rotate it like this. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the brand new film on Netflix. This is called The Platform. I need you in the comments down below. Were you looking forward to this? What the heck is it about? We'll get into that. And if you enjoy these Netflix reviews, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Plenty more today and tomorrow. So, in The Platform, 2 people per level. An unknown number of levels, a platform with food for all of them. Are you one of those who thinks too much when they are up, or of those who have no guts when they are down? If you discover it too late, you will not live out of the hole. So here's what this movie feels like on the surface. It feels like one singular metaphor that is stretched over 2 hours and also stretched hundreds and hundreds of floors. It's a very interesting concept, and when I said in the intro that this is basically Snowpiercer just rotated, that is actually what it is. You see, in this movie, the higher up you are, the more access to food that you have, because this platform starts at the top and it continues to travel until it reaches the bottom. The problem is there is a set amount of food on that platform. And every month, every 30 days, our characters wake up on a different floor. See, one day they could be on floor number 10, the next day they could be on floor number 50, and if they're lower, then obviously they're going to have less access to food. And because of that, you are going to get what you would expect from a horror-esque movie. See, this is under the genre of horror, but it's also under the genre of drama and sci-fi. And I would say it is evenly all 3 of those things, even though the time that we're living in, a lot of people will say this is more of a horror movie because we're watching this film right now. But it's still under those banners, and it manages to balance those things particularly well, and it captures the spirit of what it's trying to convey to the audience on screen, and that is the fact that even though you may come into the pit with the best of intentions, this is a place that will dehumanize you very quickly. It's absolutely an allegory. Sometimes they go about it in a very unsubtle way. I would actually say the majority of the movie is really one big metaphor, and you look at a movie like Parasite that won Best Picture this past year. Have you heard of it? It handles similar themes, but in a very different way. Now, in saying that, I am absolutely okay with the fact that this went about it in a very literal way. I'm okay with the fact that it was as unsubtle as you could possibly be at times, because it all comes down to how you get your message across, how you execute with what you're going for, and how you take advantage of the fact that this movie all takes place in one specific space. Now, every now and then we'll flash back to the outside world, and every now and then we'll jump levels. At one moment you could be high, at one moment you could be low, but every level looks the same. So I see it as a movie like Saw. I see it as a movie like Cube, where you have to take advantage of the fact that you're in one setting with, most of the time, 2 characters, because there are 2 roommates, and every now and then things will go awry. How does the movie handle that aspect? And man, this is so entertaining. This was so fascinating and real to watch. Even though the majority of the movie is something that would most likely never happen. I say most likely because, I mean, you never know. But to watch it at a time like this and to soak in how these characters act towards each other. Maybe they say something that you believe that they're going to hold to, or they say something that you know deep down they don't necessarily mean, and it all comes down to how they combat that urge, or how they go about surviving with another person. And I don't want to say specifically because that's giving away spoilers, but let's just say there are many types of people within this situation. Sometimes they're the type that you believe who they say they are, and sometimes they're the type that are the exact opposite. And the way that the characters were developed, the characterizations in general, and the fact that you know where some aspects of the story are going, yet you don't care, because of how interesting and intriguing this movie is handled. Just on a technical level, the gruesome nature of what happens within this film, it looks, I say great, but great for what they were going for. It feels terrifying at times, and that comes back to the horror. What they managed to portray in this movie was so interesting. And then our main character is a guy that you are rooting for because even though he is put in these tough situations, he means well. The absolute best relationship in this movie, in my opinion, is the relationship between our main character and Goring and Trimagashi, who was just such a fascinating entity in itself because he's so confident in what is going to happen to our main character, and he understands that you may have a certain mentality when you start out in a place like this, in a situation like this, but things slowly begin to change. So that relationship, something that continues to come back around as we progress through the story, and then the ending of the movie, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, even though it was slightly as I expected it to go. It was still powerful, and it packed an emotional punch. And the direction in general, I mean, to handle a movie like this, something so literal, but to entertain in the way that the movie did, it was very impressive. And I was overall thoroughly entertained, impressed, and surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. And when it comes down to it, no, I haven't seen 100, 200 movies this year. I've only seen, I think at this point, 51. But this is one of my favorite movies of the year. The Platform is an awesome film to soak in all of its themes, paired perfectly with Snowpiercer. If you go back to back, you're going to have one crazy day. And before I give you my score, if you enjoyed this video, if you like what we're doing on this channel, and you want to see more Netflix reviews today, be sure to smash that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button. But I'm going a solid 8 out of 10, and 80% for The Platform. I definitely want to talk more about it. I'm considering and debating on doing a spoiler video. If you guys would like to see that, let me know in the comments down below. You are truly the best. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll be back later on.